We got threats if it didn't go on the menu. Somebody wrote on a little cocktail napkin.
That was probably me.
Well, that makes sense.
It wasn't, but it wasn't. But
They said,
I'm gonna take credit.
if this doesn't go on the menu, then we're protesting. So I showed it down. I was like, we have to. And so now it's one of our most ordered appetizers.
Thanks for joining us on Louisiana's Playground Podcast, your roadmap to all things Lake Charles, Louisiana. I'm Brady Reynard.
And I'm Candy Rodriguez in for Jillian Quarter. We're excited to bring you the authentic stories and experiences of Southwest Louisiana with all the tools you need to build your own personal Lake Charles itinerary.
And thanks again to Candy for joining us here and filling in so much talent on this Visit Lake Charles team that even when Jill isn't able to join us here on the pod, we've got more than enough people that can step in and do a terrific job, which Candy will do today for episode 87. We talked to Zachary Aymond, the head chef over at Pujo Street Cafe. Wonderful experience, both anytime we're ever at the restaurant and here on the podcast. It was an awesome conversation. We talked dining. We talked chef inspirations. We talked their menu, and we even talked about one of my favorite times here in Lake Charles, Chuck Eats Resturant Week, which is coming up very soon.
That's right. And it's also one of my favorite topics, so I'm very excited to be here. But before we begin the show, as always, we want to start with the taste of Southwest Louisiana, a segment we call On the Eats.
And this week we head south, like really south, like almost as far south as the land will allow you to go, down to Cameron Parish for one of our Chuck Eats Resturant Week members.
That's right, Lighthouse Bend. Yes, I love Lighthouse Bend because you get to not only experience, obviously, and indulge in delicious food, but you get the vibes and the view.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, just overlooking the water. It's such a cool time. Even right now, while we're going in January, it was still a very cool time. We obviously sat inside. Ain't trying to fill that with the wind and the cold now.
It's a little chilly still.
The views are still awesome. And
absolutely,
the entire dining room area of the restaurant has a view to the outside. So you see every bit of it. Very, very cool. And they're still pretty new overall. I mean, they opened back in 2024. They've got an ever-changing menu. It's a lot of the same faces that come there most days because of the industry in town, and the fact that they're the only bar and restaurant combo in Cameron, especially in that area. And so they try to change up the menu as much as possible for the locals there, and those that are in the area. And so what you're getting in the spring is not what you're getting in the winter.
Right. But you know what? I actually like that about restaurants when they do that because it keeps customers coming back.
Absolutely.
Now, of course, they did tell us they do keep some of the customer favorites on the menu, and we'll tell you about those here in a second. But yeah, they change out, especially with what's happening, what's in season. And it's a very nice atmosphere. Think of it like an elevated casual dining experience. The interior design, they did a wonderful job with it. It's very much giving coastal vibes, as the kids would say. It's giving, but it's very beautiful on the inside, but it still has that homey feel to it that makes you feel comfortable. And I say that because we saw a lot of people spending quite a bit of time in there.
Sure.
I enjoyed my time while we were there. I could have spent all afternoon there and enjoyed the views of the water.
And there's also a market and marina. You can drive your boat up if you happen to have a boat in that area. And there's a market there too. And there's different specials that they do. And there's some things that even stay on the menu. Things like the Cajun queso and their bread pudding. So delicious. Burgers and their steaks. Their chicken sandwich, for example. Very, very popular. And they said they're always busy because when you're kind of the only game in town,
right.
But they were not slammed. So, you still didn't feel crammed and whatever. So it's nothing but good vibes is the best way that I would say it. And they even told me something culinary wise that they make sure is that they only use beef tallow.
Yes. He said they don't
really
use
cool.
seed oils. Yeah. He said they stick with beef tallow.
Yeah, they've used very few oils. Like they'll use some olive oil, but they pretty much use beef tallow beyond that. And so that's really cool. That they try to be consistent with that. Now, let's talk about the food, because that's why we're here, right?
Right.
The vibes are great, but the food's even better.
Absolutely.
We started off with the Crazy Cajun Baguette, which is their garlic bread. And then they have crawfish tails over a blanket of like pepper jack cheese, and it's seasoned really well, and it's so gooey and crispy. It's like the way that I describe it, it's elite garlic bread.
Oh, absolutely. And I'm not going to lie to you. It also has the shape of like a tiny pizza slice.
Yeah, they cut it in the triangles, the pizza triangles.
So you can pick up one. And you know what I loved about it? It's just enough to feed your cravings. If you're craving like that starter bread, it's enough, a slice to make you feel like, you know what? That was very nice. But not only is it covering the carb aspect of it, but it's also just very good. I mean, it had several crawfish tails on top of it, and it was so cheesy and ooey gooey. I really enjoyed it, and it had a really nice taste to it with the seasonings.
Yeah, I agree. Very, very good way to open. From there, another opener was the chicken and sausage gumbo. For the bowl, it was a very hearty serving of gumbo.
Absolutely.
And that was the small that you saw it kind of bring out to the table. I would say that's the standard bowl. So I'd be really interested to see what their large was for a few dollars extra. With this gumbo, I would say it is something that each of their dishes kind of fit into. Everything on their menu is so familiar if you're kind of born and raised or very familiar with Louisiana culinary food. But everything has their own twist. Everything's unique. So familiar but unique. For example, their chicken and sausage gumbo. Their roux is obviously very good, but it's very unique. And I kind of learned through some of the oils that they use the fat being used to create the roux is a little different. And then within it, they season with a lot more black pepper than they would a red pepper, like a cayenne, which is what you mostly see in gumbo.
Right.
And so because of that, it's a much more distinct flavor, but it is so very good. I mean, I enjoyed it.
Yeah, I mean, just like you said, you hit it on the nail. It's very familiar. Obviously, some of you may know I'm not from Louisiana, but I consider myself honorary Louisianian.
You lived here long enough.
Yeah, about a decade I've been in the area. And so I've tried plenty of gumbos, and this one was unique. Of course, like you said, it had that familiar taste to home, but something about it was different that just kind of made you keep going back for spoonfuls because you were like, oh, what is it? But it was still very good.
Yeah, it was very good, kind of like a camp gumbo. Awesome.
And then you saw the red bell peppers in it.
Yep. So they even kind of mixed up some of the bell peppers. Typically, in most Cajun gumbos, you're going to see a green. And so they went with red. And just a lot of little changes like that kind of turn it on its head. But it is still very familiar and it is still very much gumbo. And it's very much good.
Which makes it for a fun experience.
And then for the entree, you got something that looked amazing.
Yes. I picked the blackened redfish. Oh, my goodness. I mean, just looking at the plate, it looked delicious and it tasted even better.
Yes.
Yes, the blackened redfish, it was crispy on the outside and the fish was just so buttery on the inside. And it sat on a bed of green beans that had like little chunks of what looked like red bell peppers in it. And it was right next to a scoop of rice dressing, which, by the way, if you've had rice dressing, most of the time it tends to be a little bit on the drier side. Not this one. This one was very creamy, and it wasn't just from that lemon cream sauce that they put on top of the fish, which was also very good. Chef Brandon does a phenomenal job. That rice dressing, I'm gonna dream about it because not only was it seasoned very well, it was just creamy, and you don't expect that going in for a bite.
Yeah, it looked awesome, and you talked about the red pepper. It's called a red pepper coulis, is what they put on it, right? So it's
there
like
you
a puree,
go. See,
right? It's kind of a sauce. So once again, familiar yet unique.
Right, and I love
a lot
green
of things
beans.
that I've had a lot of black and red fish and rice dressing, and this one was a little different than any of them.
Yeah.
And so credit to the team for doing that. And it's consistent, right? So for me, my entree, the Creole-style shrimp and grits. It's blackened shrimp, cheddar grits topped with a Creole sauce, bacon, shaved Parmesan, and chives. And like I've never had bacon with it before, but it was kind of a nice touch, right? Like it adds that saltiness, that really little bit of greasiness that only bacon can do.
Yeah,
right?
only bacon.
And the grits were firm, but because they're firm, they hold the gravy much better. And so because they do
kind of
that,
just soaks
and
it
it's
in.
a very thick gravy, so everybody's so thick, but like they all pair so well, and the grits are top notch, which they told me they use high quality grits because
The highest quality he said he could get. That's what Chef Brandon told us.
Acquire,
yeah.
Because he talks about how important it is for the grits in there.
He told us that he learned that from a chef many moons ago. So I thought that was really cool that he still took that with him.
Agreed. Everything is a very heavy hand with seasoning. You're not going to get anything under seasoned there, which for me, I appreciate.
Yeah, very much Cajun cooking.
It's very good. The shrimp were large. It had it wasn't like a typical like a red eye gravy, which what you see. It was much more of a kind of a thick, chunky gravy, but it works so well. Every bite was awesome, and I looked up and I realized, oh my God, I ate 3/4 of it in the span of like 3 minutes.
Right.
And not because it's small, but because I just I went into focus mode.
This was pretty. It was a pretty big dish.
Very, very good.
Very generous, and the grits were so cheesy.
They were very cheesy. Now, the thing that will stick with you the longest, though, both physically because of it's a dessert, and because it also was just amazing, was their Lighthouse bread pudding. It also comes with vanilla ice cream and a bourbon caramel sauce. However, what it doesn't tell you on the menu is that this bread pudding is deep fried.
Oh, but man, was that a wonderful surprise.
Oh, what? So it's a standard bread pudding, and they, do it in the oven, make it sticky like most bread puddings, very soft, and then they take cuts of it, they make it into like little triangles, and they deep fry it, which you might think, oh, that sounds excessive. It doesn't need it. Does it need it? No. Does it make it better? Yes, because what it does is it adds a perfect crisp all the way around it so it's crunchy. Like, I don't know, a grown-up Cinnamon Toast Crunch. You know the cereal? Because they serve it with the ice cream, so it's like a lot of the same flavors as that, except like this is made for adults, and it is amazing.
It's so good. And yes, just like you said, when I first saw it come out, I thought, it's fried. That's interesting. But it's not fried in the sense of how you would imagine. Like, it's not dripping with grease. It's not heavy. I mean, it is
crispy.
It's lightly fried. I don't know how they managed that, because you would think that it would just kind of take over. But that's the first thing you notice in a bite.
It must be the sugars from the actual dessert.
Probably.
They just harden in a perfect way versus needing like a batter and all that.
Exactly. And so when you take that first bite, yes, you immediately feel that crunch, and it's so light, and it just feels so good. And then you immediately get into that softness and ooey gooey texture of a typical bread pudding.
This cinnamon flavor just hits you, like it almost tastes like a cinnamon roll. It's that good, right? And so every bit of it was so amazing, and really it's all I've been thinking about since.
Yeah, no, and I agree with you. Honestly, I could eat that by itself, but they, like you said, they did put a scoop of vanilla ice cream on top with caramel sauce drizzled on top. And I mean, that I will say that added to it. We did
absolutely.
dig in
it's all
and mix
so
it.
Amazing. Yeah, and I also took pieces of the bread pudding by itself.
Exactly.
And it is it's so great. It's everything that a bread pudding is supposed to be: cinnamony, soft. It's all of those things, and then it's also crunchy.
And that's what I really liked about it, because again, it goes back kind of like you said about the gumbo, very familiar but unique, because of course we go to a lot of places, we eat gumbo, we also go to a lot of places and we eat bread pudding.
Yep.
This was just like a fun experience because it was slightly different.
As you know, if gumbo or bread pudding's on the menu, it's gonna
Brady's gonna order it.
Yeah. And so this was, another great addition in both of those categories for sure.
So yeah, I highly recommend, if you do go, definitely get the bread pudding. Now, they did have other desserts that they mentioned. We did not get to try those. But I will say that 2 months ago, they also started offering breakfast. And you mentioned that Thursday night they have steak night.
Yeah, they do. And also something that's worth mentioning is that for the upcoming Chuck Eats Restaurant Week, the 2 items that they're bringing, any of their handhelds will be available, as well as a piece of garlic bread. And then for their dinner...
That's for lunch.
Yes.
The handhelds and the garlic bread. And just to give you kind of a rundown, that's $20 for lunch, and that you can get your choice of the Cameron cheeseburger, crunchy Cajun burger, Texas beef patty melt, po' boy, shrimp, or catfish, or crawfish on that, fish tacos, Southwest chicken sandwich, which he said was a very popular one, and a chicken Caesar wrap. So you get to have that as your second course. Obviously, you start off with some garlic bread. That's $20 for lunch. And then you also have the dinner option. That's $35. The first course is a small coastal Cobb salad. The second course are those shrimp and grits that Brady had.
Oh, so good.
And by the way, that's one of the menu items that we were told by the manager will always be on the menu. So that is definitely, if you're going there for Chuck Eats Week for dinner, that's something that they have always on their menu, and it represents them. And of course, you're ending that Chuck Eats dinner with the signature Lighthouse bread pudding that we just mentioned.
Oh, man, so good. You can't go wrong with it.
You're going to dream about it tonight.
Yes.
So yes, Lighthouse Bend is located in Cameron Parish. As you head down there and you get closer, you will see signs leading you to the restaurant. Highly recommend. If you want to go for yourself, check it out. Next time, Brady, we go, we have to check out happy hour. If you're looking for a date night spot, I would definitely pick Lighthouse Bend.
From a great meal to a great guest, we welcome on Zachary Aymond, the head chef at Pujo Street Cafe. Over a decade of experience there and 7 years as head chef, and he brings all that culinary experience right here to the podcast. Welcome to the show, Zachary.
Thank you for having me.
Southwest Louisiana is known for our big city amenities and small town charm, which makes for a vast array of experiences that one can add to their itinerary. From the types of food to the outdoor adventures and national and regional entertainment to that lake area that you can walk along and enjoy the sunsets. But before we get started, we ask each guest a few questions to let our listeners know you better and how you play in Louisiana's playground. Are you ready, Zachary?
Yes.
It's the hardest questions you'll get today.
Oh, okay.
Number 1, crawfish or gumbo?
Crawfish.
I told you, they're tough.
That was tough.
Why crawfish?
Because it's seasonal.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because you can't have it anytime you want.
Ooh.
I think that's
All right, number 2, poolside or beachside?
beachside.
Hey, okay.
The nature.
Yeah. I like
Yeah.
the coast.
The sounds.
Sounds, yeah.
The
I was gonna
wind.
say, I know you vacation to the coast, so that makes sense. You kind
Yeah,
of
we vacation the coast and the mountains. We do Smoky Mountains, and then we go to South Carolina. So.
All right, and last but not least, concert or comedy show?
Concert. Love
Ooh.
a good concert. Yeah.
What's
Honestly, I
your...
don't think I've ever been to I've been to like on a Carnival cruise, like one of those low budget type.
the
Yes.
cowboy comedian.
Exactly. Which they're fun, but no, a good concert.
Okay.
I love concerts.
What's your favorite genre of music?
Everything. We love it all. Country. 2 years ago, we saw Parker McCollum at the event center.
Nice.
That was awesome.
Yeah.
They sold it out.
That's awesome. Well, look, let's start the conversation. We'll start with your background to kind of understand a little bit more of you as we kind of branch out. Everyone kind of has that dish or the memory that pulls them into the kitchen and starts their culinary career. What was it for you?
For me, it's probably just watching my mom cook. She was a great cook, and I'd be in the kitchen with her. And if I had to pick one dish, it'd probably be her jambalaya. I always loved her jambalaya, and it ended up being probably the first dish that I really mastered and got down was jambalaya. So
It's a great first dish.
it is a great first dish.
Delicious dish.
Uh-huh.
So are you more of the dry or the sticky? Where does your jambalaya kind of
Sticky.
fall?
Yeah, I like to do it in the oven.
Yeah.
Bake in the oven for about 45 minutes at like 325, and it gets the rice is cooked perfectly, and it's nice and sticky.
Ooh,
I
that
agree.
sounds really
I'm
good.
a sticky jambalaya guy. I think that's
too.
where it's best.
Yeah.
Right. It looks dry, but then you move it, and you're like, oh, this ain't dry.
It's kind of like
It clumps up.
yeah, the rice don't just like fall apart.
No.
Yes, exactly. Well, then, how did you go from that to the journey to Pujo Street? What was that for you?
Well, I went to college at McNeese. I was studying health and human performance. I was going to be a high school football coach like my dad. My father passed away, passed away suddenly in 2012. And so I kind of had like a calling from God to kind of follow my passion. And my passion wasn't teaching. I knew that. Teaching football maybe, but
Yeah.
you have to be a teacher too. So,
Yeah.
but yeah, so I talked to my dad about it, and he said, don't ignore your passion for cooking. So I started applying around town, and I landed at Pujo's.
And it's been history ever since.
I started on the fryer and worked my way up to head chef.
That's amazing. Now, can you tell us a little bit about Pujo Street Cafe for folks who are listening who may never have been there? I mean, this is a legendary spot that we're talking about.
Yeah, we've been open for, 33 years now? Going on 33 years, right in the heart of downtown. It's a relaxed vibe, kind of like it's akin to like a French Quarter, New Orleans French Quarter style decor. And we have local art on the walls that we sell. The artist sells.
Mm-hmm.
And now that you've been there, you said you started as a fryer. Now you're the chef. I mean, how did you manage maybe those expectations? Because it is such a staple in our community.
Yeah. I guess it wasn't like being thrown into it. I mean, I worked my way up over the years. So it was kind of like a gradual thing, I guess. It wasn't just like you're being thrown into the fire, And I was learning along the way. I learned a lot from the owner. Especially the business side of it. Yeah. Dan Chad.
Well, then doing that, once it became, you are head chef, what's that thumbprint, that culinary thumbprint, your mark, your kitchen philosophy? What is that?
So I met my wife she started 6 months after me. And we became friends first, and then eventually roommates, and then that blossomed to a relationship. But one thing we've always... we've worked alongside each other for the past 11 and a half years, is, building a team, because you can't do nothing without a team. So really it's, teamwork makes the dream work thing. So team building.
That sounds like? Sounds like a football coach to me. Is that the football mentality bringing into the kitchen?
That's my dad taught me that. Yeah.
That's amazing. No, that is fantastic because really at the end of the day, you have to depend on everyone in that kitchen.
You're nothing without your team.
Exactly. And so that's why you guys continue to be a staple in our community. So for folks who are here visiting, what is a must try for first timers and even just give us an underrated favorite of regulars? Maybe I haven't tried that one.
Yeah. Well, so I think the must try for the first timers would be our gumbo.
Truth.
It's unique. You can't find our gumbo anywhere else. It's a very dark roux gumbo because people, when they see it, they're like, oh. But if they know that going in, it's okay. But for a underrated favorite of our regulars, I'd probably say our steak Florentine, which is a 8-ounce filet mignon topped with a spinach and tasso smoked Gouda sauce.
Oh, wow.
I've had that one. So
I've not.
Yeah.
But I've also had the gumbo. So yes, I agree.
I've never gotten past, I've eaten other things. It's always hard for me to get past the gumbo. I see the gumbo and I'm like, yeah, God, I think I kind of want that gumbo again. Because it is. We've talked about it when we featured you guys like 50 episodes ago in our On the Eat segment.
About 2 years ago?
Yeah, during our On the Eat segment. And when describing the gumbo, and I think that may have been the first time or second time that I'd had it at that point, it is so dark that I explained it like but it's not burnt.
Yeah.
It's where you look at it and you're like, is this starting to, and then you end it. Like that's where you're at, so you're getting all those flavors that are cooked down, the kind of, our seasonings that we use in Louisiana are so good at being blackened.
Yeah.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
And so that's all that flavors there, not to spoil, but I think you guys use like a bacon fat, right? As the roux.
Yeah. So I tried to keep that a secret as long as I could. And then Brady kind of, I wouldn't say spoiled it, but no, it's cool.
I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
But you on blast.
But no, that's one of the things about cooking. Like I really don't believe in secret ingredients, secret recipes, and stuff like that.
Yeah, because someone could have that, and it's not going to make their gumbo.
Yeah,
it's not going to create it. Your gumbo isn't. It's a key ingredient of your gumbo, but if you switched it out, that all those flavors are still going to find a way to be there.
Absolutely. I've made it in a pinch. I've made it with regular oil, and it was still just as good.
Yeah.
The bacon grease obviously adds a certain thing to it.
I'd say a signature, right?
Yeah, I think so. And it also, like you said, like when I'm making the roux, I use super high heat, like the highest heat.
Yeah.
And so it's super, and I'm currently whisking. And once I get to that color, when I'm looking and like it's just smoky, you can barely see the color. But if I can get a glimpse of it, then like, okay, one more shade darker. And so 5 more seconds, and then I cut it and I throw the vegetable.
And so, excuse my ignorance, I am a dabbler in the kitchen.
Uh-huh.
I think is the best way that I could. I have a passion for doing stuff, but it certainly isn't driving me to get a career in culinary.
Sure.
Not yet.
But it feels like, do you mix inspirations and techniques from different cultures? Because there's not a lot of cultures that cook on high heat.
Yeah.
Like that. Like I think of high heat and I think of more wok based.
Yeah. I was going to say Asian
So it's
food.
almost a wok based
absolutely.
style roux.
Yeah.
Am I off base?
No, not at all, actually. I mean, I don't use a wok per se. I use a big, thick-walled 25-quart pot. But you're right. And actually, I mean, yeah, getting that high heat into the flour, yeah.
And so it just kind of, it's a different way of doing the same thing that everyone else. Because typically a roux, most people do it very low and slow.
Yeah. It takes like an hour and you're sitting there.
Yeah. Does it take you an hour?
It takes me 20 minutes.
It's a lot better than an hour.
Yeah, that is true. Yeah. Well, I mean, and speaking of that, how do you balance the classic Southwest Louisiana flavors with all the innovation happening in your kitchen?
We're kind of a scratch kit. We try to do everything in-house from scratch. We have an herb garden in the back that we use. So fresh ingredients, grown right in our backyard. Or whether it be using, Rabbitohs just down on 10, using their sausage in our gumbo. And we use their sausage in our jambalaya for our egg rolls. Yeah, just utilizing those things that are, and I think that honestly is the root of Cajun cooking, is using what's in your backyard.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
And so it all remains Cajun because it all is remaining in your backyard.
That's right.
I like that.
Yeah.
Speaking of, what do you think makes Southwest Louisiana, our food culture, unique? And you know what? I'll even go beyond just what it is. Right now, with where our food scene, our food culture is right now in Lake Charles.
Right now, I would say the diversity drives it.
Nice, yeah.
We're like a melting pot here in Lake Charles.
Right.
You got Orinoco, which one of our favorite restaurants. They're Colombian, Venezuelan, and you got Area 337 and South American, and of course all the local spots that have been here are like Steamboat Bill's and us. It's just such a diversity. You can find almost any type of food around here.
And I love that you say that because that makes so much sense. Because when I think of places like Orinoco or Area 337, speaking specifically with the Orinoco women who are behind that wonderful restaurant and those dishes, they told me that for Chuck Eats, they are bringing something that is very traditional to their culture.
Really?
It's one of the entrees, but it's not something that they offer all the time on their menu because it is so different that they're not sure
how
if
people receive it.
Right.
Yeah.
And I'm sure that's something that
absolutely
you see,
you
obviously.
Don't know, you honestly, you don't know when you're coming up with something, you don't know how people receive it. A lot of times it could be a miss. Sometimes it's a hit, And
it's just having to well, first of all, you guys try things, but then also having people willing to order it and wanting to try it and open their mind to it.
What's that labbing like? Because that's kind of what it is, right? It's an experiment. You might like it, but your palate's not the same as Candy's.
Yes.
I think it's pretty similar to mine, it seems like, from our conversations. But, your wife's is probably not the same as yours. And so what's that experience like as a chef when you are experimenting, when you are putting on your science hat?
That's funny you asked that because just the other day, we were at home as our day off. And so my wife does gluten-free and sometimes dairy-free because it upsets her stomach. And so she was saying how she was craving a chocolate cake. And so I was like, okay, well, I can do that. So I'd made a gluten-free, dairy-free chocolate cake, and it was like the best chocolate cake we've ever had. So I brought it to work the next day, let Dan try it, and he was like floored by it. So now we're making a chocolate cake to offer our guests that's gluten-free, dairy-free.
Wow.
So usually it's just, something like that, you look at it as a little project. Or if it's like an idea, like the hot honey burger, we talked about.
Brady's inspiration.
I was going to say not to spend too much time, but let me hear the inspiration. I think our listeners are really passionate about hearing when I'm right.
You were at the restaurant eating gumbo, as you typically do, and we were talking about sauces and how much you love sauces and how much you despise mayo.
Yes, this is accurate.
And so I was thinking, well, what's a different sauce that'll you can put on a burger that'll pair well with a burger, and the hot honey and the pepper jelly was where we went.
It's phenomenal. I love that burger. It is one of my favorite burgers. Every time I see it on the menu, it's like a tug of war. You know the little devil and angels from the cartoons? That's my gumbo and my hot honey burger. Right. Every time I'm going like, which one do I want? And then the third one is whatever the special is that day.
Oh yeah, yeah.
It's like, yeah, but there's chicken parm too. And I'm like, God, I do love chicken parm.
I'm guilty of that with your crawfish salad, with the crawfish tails, crawfish bacon.
Yeah.
And I know, it's,
so what dressing do you get with that one?
The mustard, honey mustard. Thank you. Yes.
One.
Well, and you know what? I will say something to you, and it goes back to the diversity. It goes back to testing things out. And it goes back to the value of that. Like you said, no secrets earlier. Mm-hmm. When you are able to try different things and experience different things, you may come up with something on your own, and you may figure out a way to fuse those ingredients and those flavors. I, from my background, am not someone typically who goes for honey mustard because it doesn't appeal to me. Yeah. But when one of the servers was like, I promise you'll like it. And I said, if you don't like it, like I'll bring you something else. I said, okay. And ever since then, I've never gotten anything else.
I love our honey mustard. We make that in house.
She told me that, so I was like, okay, well, I'm trusting you, and I'm open to it. But again, you have to try.
And so I love where the conversation has kind of gone, and we had touched on it too. Chuck Eats, as you know, coming up at the end of this month here in I think about 10 days from where we are, it will start. And from a chef's perspective, an initiative like Chuck Eats Week, which for anyone that is uninitiated, it's 11 days.
Yes, January 22nd through February 1st. It's 11 days of a culinary celebration, Chuck Eats Resturant Week, and we feature over 35 restaurants who come up with prefix menus, and those are a set price menu, so you can experience a variety of what they have to offer, creations like the ones, Zachary, you have at the restaurant.
Right, and so an initiative like that, is it vital for the local restaurant community?
I think it's vital because it helps, I wouldn't say educate customers, but it helps them try different things.
Introduce them.
Price. Yeah. Introduce them. There you go.
Exposure.
There you go. That's the word. You can hop around and try different things for promotional prices. It's just like ours is $35. That's an entree. We have $35 entree. So but we're offering, you get to try our gumbo. I mean, you get to get side salad, and then you get to finish your meal with the dessert. So for a good affordable price, you get to try a little bit of it, little bit of what we have to offer.
Let's dive into that real quick, because I think it's a really good reflection of what you're going to see at a lot of other restaurants where you're, like you said, you're going to get a good deal, but let's look at this. So I guess it gives you an idea of how maybe another restaurant would do it as well. So it starts with the gumbo. So for $35, for the Chuck Eats special during that 11-day period, starts with the gumbo. Wonderful. And then it goes into, you said, your side salad?
Yeah, so it'd be a side salad or a side Caesar salad.
Okay.
That's the second course.
And so somehow, if you still have room after that, which I can understand you'll have a little bit of room. Most people can put away a little bit. You then have a full entree of the chicken calcasieu.
Yeah, I call it chicken calcasieu, and it's a chicken breast that's stuffed with Rabbito's pork sausage, collard greens, and cornbread.
Wow.
So it's like a southern,
It's a full meal. I mean, just the chicken and then some sausage with collard greens and cornbread is an entire meal.
Yeah, so the chicken breast is stuffed with that, and then we serve it on top of locally grown popcorn rice and Steen's glazed green beans.
Yep. All right, and then
somehow
again,
if you still if you're still hungry,
hey, you can take.
If you're Brady,
you can eat a little bit and box it up and take.
There
it
you go. Yeah,
for another meal.
If you're
Brady,
me,
I know Brady still has room.
I can put away. I'd still find.
Too,
yeah. Then it's the dessert, which I think y'all.
The banana Foster creme brulee.
That sounds incredible. So the chicken calcasieu is an example of something that is not on your menu.
No, it's not. It's we actually brought it. We created it last year for Chuck Eats, and we brought it back this year.
But again, because you want to try it with the customers, and the gumbo is something that people can find all the time.
Gumbo all day, every day.
Now, I will say this from what I remember from our first Chuck Eats, there are items that if enough people say this is really good, it might find its way on the menu,
exactly.
like the egg rolls.
Oh, yeah. So, was that the first?
That was the first one. You had put it on there.
21?
It would have been 22.
22.
So that was 2022. You guys had put it on there.
Yeah.
And look,
Hey,
they were feeling very generous that day because we went for lunch.
We got threats if it didn't go on the menu. Somebody wrote on a little cocktail napkin.
That was probably me.
Well, that makes sense.
It wasn't, but it wasn't. But I'm going to take credit.
If this doesn't go on the menu, then we're protesting. So I showed it to Dan. I was like, we have to.
Wow.
And now
we don't want this kind of attention.
Right? And so now it's one of our most ordered appetizers.
Yeah, and so anything can be a dream if you allow it to happen.
Well, and that's what I love about Chuck Eats Restaurant Week, because that allows you, like chefs like you, Zach, to take that opportunity to say, you know what? Maybe I've been thinking you always have so many amazing ideas. I remember you recently did the gator entree special for dinner.
Grits,
yeah. And so, but you just never know, right? Like that's what we were saying. So this is a great opportunity for chefs to try. And I have heard from several chefs who like to try new things during that week. However, I also hear from chefs and different restaurants who tell me, we want to showcase the best of what we offer, because maybe there is someone who hasn't tried our restaurant yet.
Absolutely, yeah.
Yeah, every year I try to go to places that I haven't been before or things that I've not gotten before when I've done Chuck Eats.
Which is why I like that you have the chicken calcouche, which is not something that you can regularly find on your menu, but then you also offer the gumbo. So if someone's like, well, I always wanted to go there, and then they'll see, hey, I can get that all the time.
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, so when it comes to restaurant weeks for guests, why would it be the perfect time to visit? Both you or really any of our 35 plus restaurants that we have on the list. Why is it the perfect time for someone to visit, probably either for the first time or maybe for the umpteenth time?
Well, I think for us, because we've been around so long, I get people say, man, I haven't been to Pujo's in 15 years, 20 years, something crazy, So I think it's a perfect time, like, well, come back. We've evolved over the years, with growth and all. So I think that's a perfect time. And like you said, typically is the slowest part of the year.
Yeah.
So honestly, if you want to, you won't be dealing with a lot of crowds,
And then I want to kind of give a peek behind the curtain as well. You are one of the handful of chefs that partnered with us for our upcoming series that we hope to release later this year called I'll Have the Usual. Essentially, it is, think of it like there's a popular show on the Food Network called The Best Thing I Ever Ate.
Oh, yeah.
And the idea is it's chefs talking about the things that they like from other chefs, because that's where it's authentic. It's your biases are, the only biases are your taste buds, right? And so I wanted to apply that here because we have so many great restaurants. As you said, the diversity of our local restaurants. That concept, the idea of the usual, especially coming from someone that lives and breathes food and doing so on the culinary level, what does that idea mean to you?
The usual is, that I think it's the thing that when people go out to eat and, they get the usual, it's the thing that comforts them, it's, and I love on the other end of it, the cooking end of it. When I see, our regulars, they have the certain thing that they get. When I see the ticket, I know exactly who it is out there. And I'm like,
isn't that awesome?
Wow.
That's Curtis and Claudia. So we have this couple that come. They literally come every day. I'm not exaggerating. They come every day for lunch, and they're retired. But they get almost the same thing every day. Miss Claudia does. So she modifies our crab and avocado salad, and she gets chicken salad. So it's basically like a avocado chicken salad stack.
Wow.
And so we kind of affectionately call it the Claudia. But, when I see that, I know exactly who it is out there.
Yeah. And so with that, not to spoil the show or anything, give me an example for you. You're away from the restaurant and you're eating something. What are some of the go-to craving bites for you in town?
My wife and I's favorite is probably crawfish. Yeah. When it's in season and, whether it be getting it to go and bringing it home or going to eat, whether it be Steamboat Bill's or we have a place in Moss Bluff, hot spot we go to a lot. So, probably crawfish.
God, crawfish is so
Old
good.
Crawfish is the best.
Man, you're not lying. It's amazing.
I have a secret I'll share with you really quickly. I also do love crawfish, but I always have to tell them to go easy on the seasoning.
Just do it in water. Just water, please.
I figured as a chef you'd get a kick out of that.
Yeah, I like that.
You do it like Alaskan shrimp. I just want it in straight water.
Just poach it in water.
Yeah.
Maybe a little salt. Hey, I still try. I still go through
I
it.
want my crawfish poached. Yeah. Oh.
I still try. And listen, like I said, I can always go to Pujo and get my crawfish shell salad.
Yeah.
Well, look, if people are inspired if you're interested in Chuck Eats, chuckeats.org. That's where you can get all the information, all the deals. They're currently up now, so you can kind of game plan. I know I do that the week before. I try to game plan and get lunch every day.
Plan your culinary adventure.
Exactly. As far as Pujo, where can people get more information?
We typically post on our Facebook page if we're running like different specials or different, things trying out, or just info in general. You can visit our Facebook page and
it should come with a warning label, though.
Yeah,
there's numerous. You will get hungry.
Yes.
Every once in a while, I'll see it. I'm like, now I've got to have
it's
this.
Like 10 a.m.
He's at it again.
Yeah, he's at it again. This madman. I've got to go get this 3-layer cheesecake now at 9:30 in the morning.
I will. And that is life changing. If you guys have not tried, and it's in season because it's also a seasonal item, is the Mardi Gras cheesecake.
Yep.
This is not your typical cheesecake. It is not just dyed a different color.
Mm-hmm.
Can you please explain to them really quickly? Because this is my favorite.
That's one of Dan's, the owner. That's one of his specialties. Is the Mardi Gras cheesecake, and it's layers of the purple layer is blueberry.
Mm-hmm.
The middle yellow layer is lemon, and the bottom green layer is pistachio. And obviously lemon and blueberry go well together, but then you add a little nuttiness. It's beautiful.
Yeah,
and not to mention it looks beautiful.
It's life changing. Okay, and you can order a whole one.
Yeah. You can get a whole one for $50, or you can get a slice for I think $8.95.
I just happened to hear that. I don't really know. Someone told me.
Yeah. You ended up with a whole one.
Yeah. But no, before we let you go, we also want to know. 2026. It's a new year, new you. But what can we expect from Pujo Street Cafe coming up?
I think I like to think, growth, whether it be as a team or as a restaurant, but growth in general and growth in creativity and stuff like that. Yeah.
Thanks again for Zachary for joining us here on the show. And the biggest thank you of all goes out to you for listening to the podcast. We really do appreciate it. New year, new us, as Candy said, but it's really just a lot of the same. And we want to be consistent, bringing you that great show that you come to expect each and every time. Yes, Candy, same great show always. If you can, it really helps us if you could leave us a rating or review.
Just head on over to visitlakecharles.org/podcast for more episodes, find out where to eat, and events happening this weekend. I'm Candy Rodriguez in for Jillian Quarter.
And I'm Brady Raynard. Thanks again for coming to play at Louisiana's Playground. Sit ya.